What's going on, everybody? Let me fix my camera. I don't know why my fucking camera keeps doing that. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another wonderful day talking about my favorite thing that we all love listening to is PAX East 2025. Welcome, everyone, to the stream. Today, as you can see, it's not only my beautiful face you see, but you see somebody that is much sexier than me on the right-hand side. And this gentleman goes by the name Louie. Mr. Lewis, what's going on, my friend? How are you?
Good. Looking forward to PAX. It's always a fun time. So excited to be here to talk about it.
Hell
How's
yeah.
everything?
Good, man. Just excited, getting ready for the countdown, getting anxious, waiting for my badges. Did you get your badge already?
I got a will call mine.
Oh, damn. Sorry.
I'll get there early enough. It'll be fine. The will call if you get there early on Friday, not bad.
Yeah. No, the will call
Or
is
Thursday.
super easy. Yeah, will call is super easy. So, but people are already starting to get theirs, and I just got mine. I haven't gotten mine yet, so but But welcome to the show, my good friend. Welcome to the show. First and foremost, let's get the pleasantries out of the way. So let's introduce yourself. As you guys can see in the writing below, I don't know what side my camera is on, but right below Louie, Louie does a blog called, and it's just called Whoosh, right? I
Yeah.
always want to say Whoosha. I don't know why, but it's just Whoosh. I know I've
Yep.
never said it wrong, but um so Whoosh, and pretty much it's all about comic books and running, and because you get into a lot of running, you do a lot of what do they go relays and shit like that for charity. Always for charity, which is
I've done that.
fantastic. So
Yeah.
um
Um.
yeah, but please introduce yourself. Give a little blurb about yourself. Let the people know.
So yeah, it's funny you mentioned the running thing. I didn't do this on purpose, but I'm wearing my Disneyland half marathon weekend jacket right now. From just having gone out in February and ran the Disneyland half and 10K to complete the Dumbo challenge.
Nice.
Um, but you mentioned charities, and I would be remiss if I didn't plug the Boston Marathon, which is this coming Monday. So if you know anybody running it, you can support them as they run it, either with some encouragement. If they're raising money for charity, get out there and if you can, whatever you can spare to donate, do that for them. I don't really want to plug myself. I'm not good at that, but definitely go support your people running the marathon. Having run it twice and fundraised both times to do it, I can't express how much it means to those running it to feel the support to get through it. So, as much as I would love you to go support my stuff on the bottom of the screen, my YouTube Whoosh Comics and Running, Instagram Whoosh C&R, or my blog over on Blogspot. You have to choose, go support somebody raising money for charity and doing something more positive than just talking about comic books or running. But I chose Whoosh because it's usually the sound effect you see in the comics for running, and I was like, it's the perfect blend of the two things I'm doing.
I like that.
And I thought, what's funnier than the Whoosh sound effect to have for a main thing for a channel? So,
Nice.
yeah, I did that. And for those of you who might not be aware, Van and I also do a podcast called The Comic Council.
Mhm.
So make sure to go check that out. We do that with our friend Zach.
Mm. And
And
we just
occasionally with our
added
friend Josh.
I was just gonna say, and we just added Josh to be a part-time person
Yep.
too, which we'll get him full-time before the end of the month.
Well, I mean, we could definitely find stuff for him. Trust me, he's itching. So we'll get him going there too. But make sure to go and check that out too. Is that's probably our biggest labor of love that we all do for getting a show out there and making time to put it out there and talk about the things we all enjoy. And if you enjoy random tangents, it's even better.
Oh yeah, that's what makes our show special.
Uh,
Absolutely.
we can go
Um,
way off the rails.
but like what you do is great. You put in a lot of hard work with running, and the blog itself, so it's always great, and it's a good time to have us as, friends being able to do something like this. I mean, I can remember a time where being an adult, you couldn't do stuff like this. So for us to be able
Yeah,
to find that little brief moment in our lives to be able to accept this and do this and do what we love, even though we're not making any money off it as a profit or anything like that. It's a great thing still, and it's a great feeling, and I greatly enjoy it. So but please, um you guys don't have to just type all that in. If you guys go in the descriptions to all his links are there, so click on it. Please go support him. Don't care what he says. You can support a nonprofit and him at the same time. So definitely support. It's so easy to just help. And a lot of times people just help people they don't even know. They'll just see somebody on stream. I love Kai Cenat, you know what I mean? But I would support somebody that I know over him. Doesn't mean I have to stop watching him, but I will give my support to somebody I actually know. As long as, don't support just the support. Like support because you're
yeah,
interested. You know what I mean?
for sure.
Don't just, throw it out there. And if you're throwing it out there and you're doing it because of the love, appreciate you, mom. My mom does it all the time. I just seen her share it yesterday, and I sat laughing. I'm like, I know she don't watch, but that's a lie because she probably does watch too. So who knows? But
Sure.
um, yeah, you got to support the little people, because the little people become big people a lot better and easier when it's support. That's why you see a lot of people from hometowns leave their hometowns because they're just like, I got to get away from that because people in my hometown aren't going to support me, and then they start supporting afterwards, which is funny. So, but enough of that schmeal. So, um, every day I do a little small countdown. So our countdown to PAX right now is 22 days, 15 hours, and about
Mm.
50 minutes. So, we're almost there. May 8th is right around the corner. It's going to be here in the blink of an eye. Me doing the countdown, though, I can tell you, is slowing down the process. It's not making it go by faster. It's not
That's
working. So,
fair.
um,
Fair.
I do just want to say I do have my chat up. Matt said, "What's up to you?" And he said, "Let's go whoosh." So
What's going
he's
on,
throwing
Matt?
some
Thanks,
support out
Matt.
there. So, um, but yeah. So the reason why I have Louie on the show is, like I've said, I'm going to be bringing guests on here, and a part of the guests that we bring on here, they'll have something to contribute to what we're pretty much talking about. And first and foremost, Louie, how many years have you been going to PAX now? Is this about your 5th year?
This would be my 5th. My first happened to be the one right before the world shut down, which
Yep.
was super great.
Yep. Dude, I'm saving it for story time when it's me and a group of friends, but I remember that day, and it's so funny. So
Yeah.
funny. And because our brother-in-law, me and Asana's brother-in-law, was like watching the TV heavily every time we were coming back to the Airbnb and was talking about, this is some serious shit, guys. And like we're making fun of him. Like, no, it's
Yeah.
not. No, it's not. And then we get home, everything shut down. Like literally, like if PAX was 1 week later, PAX would have never happened. And
Yeah.
that's I would have been very upset. Like I was already upset with the year that it got canceled. Um, Luckily, I was taking a trip from New Jersey that year for my brother's bachelor party, so it ended up being okay. But man,
Yeah.
that sucked. That sucked. But
Well, I
what
was
can
gonna
you
say
say?
I remember packing a mask for that one and being
Mhm.
like, all right, if I get uncomfortable, I have a mask to wear. And then I came home and I had to explain about it. She's like, oh, did you put the mask on? I was like, no,
Yeah.
never felt uncomfortable.
And then I don't even think I even wore my mask either. Like, no, I didn't, because I remember the first year was when PAX first came back. We had to wear masks. I was like, this sucks. Like wearing masks sucks at PAX. Like it made the experience so bad. Like it sucked so bad, but it was needed. I'm not complaining
Yeah.
about it. Like they did the right thing by having us wear masks. So by all means, like that's how it should be. And
Yeah.
I've never been hand sanitized so much in my entire fucking life.
Yep.
Like
Anytime
I,
for
I
touching anything.
I'm pretty sure I no longer have fingertips. I had the freaking it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. But so it was a lucky guess, 5 years. Um and how would you say your perspective now,
Hmm.
you are a huge tabletop person. Now, not saying you don't play video games, because obviously you do. But a big part of you is the board game side of things, the tabletop
Yeah.
side, cards, stuff like that, D&D. You were a big part of I've always been playing board games, but you were a big part of me being able to expand my library a lot easier because I had now somebody I could actually play with. So it encouraged me to dive like much deeper into that community, which I'm very
Yeah.
thankful for. You definitely were the cause of me diving into D&D, because again, it's always something I was interested in, but it was always something I was just like, I'm all set. I don't want to get into this reading. Me and reading, everyone already knows I am not a fan of reading. But it definitely opened up my world, and you allowing me to be able to, play those games with you allowed me to be like, what are people doing out in the world with it? And it opened up my world, opened up my eyes, realized like, we're really into animated series stuff. And with me being into anime, um, I found, Critical Role by you, and then got to
Yeah.
learn
Good
very
show.
quickly, hey, everyone I love and everything I've ever watched in my entire life is literally on this one fucking podcast. Um, and that was a game changer. So, um, we'll get your perspective, but as far as like the board game side, but like PAX as a whole, from we'll start from your first experience. What was your first initial reaction to going to PAX and seeing what they provided?
So I think at first I was overwhelmed because so the PAX pre-COVID was
Mhm,
different than PAX has been post-COVID.
mhm,
And I could say that just from the 1 year I went before the world shut down. Like there was so much jammed into that room. There was massive amounts of developers, whether they were indie or the bigger ones. Like there's a lot that is going on when you go onto the floor for PAX. And the same goes for like when you try to get actual PAX merchandise. Like the lines are bonkers. There's just so many people crammed into such a small space, but almost everybody is wicked polite. Like I don't think I've met anybody at PAX that's been like a jerk,
mhm,
and I mean that. Like everybody is super super chill because they're all there to have a good time.
mhm,
Um, and it's awesome. Like I like that they have some food trucks in the building, which is great.
mhm.
I think that's really cool. They have Wild Bills there, which is awesome. And just to go back to Van saying the mask thing kind of sucked because I kept ordering like root beer and then like you try to drink it with the mask and it's just the most complicated thing to like try to take it off, hold the backpack up so it doesn't like dry. It was a pain. So
Mhm,
I understand you being like the mask was frustrating.
mhm.
Necessary, like you said, but frustrating. Like there's I don't know. It's awesome because I do like that they split it up where you have the tabletop side and you have the video game side, and like I like that division. I like that you can easily see things and like I liked that they kept or that they do keep the tabletop side open later than the video game side.
Yep.
So you can go and enjoy the video games all day and then you can go spend a couple hours checking out tabletop games and supporting the vendors over there if you want, buying their merchandise, doing that stuff. And
Mm.
I think if I'm not mistaken, one of the things I was most excited for when I went to my first PAX was to get something from Wormwood, who
Yep.
happens to be a company based out of our
Uh,
hometown,
yep.
Taunton,
Mm.
which is really really cool to me.
Which I didn't
Um,
even know until I met was it your friend that works there?
no, it was
Somebody in our group knew.
yeah. Oh my god, we used to play Benny.
Okay. Okay. It was
I think it
Ben.
was
Okay.
I think it
Okay.
was Benny.
Yep. Yep.
Um, so I thought
So
that was really cool.
like it was funny though because like he came, was hanging out, and I remember him saying like, "Oh, I work for Wormwood," and I was just like, "Okay, I don't know who that is, so keep going." And then when I seen Wormwood, I was just like, "Oh, you're Wormwood, right?" And then kept going. I was like, "Oh wow, your product's really good." And then all of a sudden, like, "Oh my god, you guys are in Taunton!" And then all of a sudden, finding out, "Dude, you work for Wormwood?" He's like, "I told you guys that." I was
Yeah,
like, "What the
no,
fuck?"
yeah. So like, I remember being super pumped for that and wanting to get that because like I love D&D. I remember trying out D&D that year, which is really cool because one of the things they'll do is you can sign up for a random game. Even if you're just solo, you can sign up as one person, and they have DMs there to run the games for you, which is really cool. You can kind of join their adventure league and continue to build your character as you go. So I thought that was really awesome.
Mhm.
Um, I hadn't started really playing Magic then, like I have now, which is another cool thing that they do there. They do those tournaments.
Yep, they do a lot of magic shit. I was going
Yeah,
over. We did Friday's schedule, and a little bit of Thursdays. I don't think we got into Saturdays yet, but it's just a lot of magic. It's a lot of the same stuff, like just a lot.
yeah, drafts and that. Like they just came out with a brand new dragon, like set based around dragons, which is pretty cool. Um, so yeah, uh, from original experience to now, like I've changed kind of the things I'm trying to do, but at
Mhm,
the same time, still enjoying it. Definitely taking in some of the video game side, like trying out Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge
mhm.
before that was out was really cool to get the chance to sample that. Um, Testing out just some of the technology that they're doing for like the computers and like the new graphics cards and all that stuff and seeing
Mhm.
what they're thinking on that front is always fun to like just try out the random games there. I
Now,
don't know,
did
there's a lot there.
have you? I know you do a lot of conventions, so you go to a lot of comic book conventions and stuff like that.
Mm.
And this was your first video game convention, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd never been to one before.
And quite a difference of an experience, right? Would you say?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Because, like, it's it's the same in the sense of the vendors there trying to sell you stuff and trying to find stuff that'll pique your interest and get you to want to buy stuff. Different in the sense of they do have guests there,
Mm-hmm.
but I think I have never met anybody at PAX.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because the one person I was excited to meet last year had to cancel.
Mm-hmm.
He was a voice in TF2, which
Mm-hmm.
I have Team Fortress 2. But he ended up canceling. But like you can always see them, they cap off the lines. It doesn't feel like it's as much of a part of the convention as it is at like
Yep.
the Comic Cons nowadays. So
Yeah. No, it's not meant for meet and greets. There's a lot of people that do go that you don't end up knowing even go until after, and you're like, they were fucking there. Like I've run into some people, and this year I'm super excited. Have you ever met have you ever, you know who Mega 64 is? You ever heard that group? They're the
I've
ones that
heard
do.
it.
So us growing up, it was beginning years of YouTube. They did the Mario Karts. That's what they were very well known for, and they were always driving the carts in real life, dressed up as the Mario Kart.
Okay.
We got to meet them in person, and it was just not like going to their booth. Like it was they were shutting down everything, so everything was shut down, and somehow we were out there. I don't know why we were on the show floor. We somehow snuck on the. You've seen my group of friends. We get into wild shit and get into
That's
situations. We have no idea how we even got into them.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know anything. I've just
And it's never bad. Like it's crazy. Like us meeting the CEO of Nvidia and becoming like cool with them. Me meeting the publishers, the main people that programmed Titanfall to like Titanfall, like meeting them outside their hotel, them smoking a cigarette. You know what I mean? Like just weird scenarios that you just bump into them. So we ran into them and they were doing their shit, acting crazy, and we're laughing, and they just looked at us and was like, "Yeah, no, we're idiots." And just went back to doing whatever they were doing. But it's cool because they're there to sell their merchandise and stuff, so they're not there for meet and greets. But like, Kind of Funny is coming this year, and I am a huge diehard fan of Kind of Funny. So when I say Kind of Funny, Greg Miller is actually coming, and that's huge for me. So, and knowing me, somewhere somehow, I'm probably gonna bump into him somewhere and be like, "Hey, you're fucking Greg Miller." You know what I mean? He's gonna be like, "Hey, I don't know who the fuck you are, but hey."
I don't know if you know who you are, but
But yeah, no, it's so funny because everything you pointed out is all things that I pointed out day one, talking about PAX, saying, everyone I've ever talked to, first thing they say, it's very overwhelming. I didn't even lead you into saying that. You just said it immediately because that's the first thing that you say is like, there is a lot. There's just a lot of options.
sensory overload is a real possibility between all the flashing lights and just all of the booths and the merchant. Like and it's not to say don't go because it's a lot. Like go because it is a lot.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. Like you'll eventually make your way through, especially like because there's corrals, there's lines. Like when they first open the doors, there's a lot of waiting to get in there, and then when you've never been, you kind of don't know what you're walking into. So you walk in and you just see this massive floor. I think it's the whole BCEC now, like the main floor.
It always has been. Yeah, it's always has been. The way they broke it up and the way you said it was like, okay, we have to separate board games because board games can't be heavily in the middle of that type of stuff. And when you start spreading it and mixing it, it just becomes a mess and nobody's happy, So when you separate it like that, especially with board games, it's about concentration. And of course, there's still a lot of stuff going on. So it's not like it's quiet, but the crowd over in the video game section is way different than the crowd that's in the board game section because the board games separate it where if you were to try to mix that up, it would never work. It would never work. So that separation is good that you have that common sense with like, hey, we need to be separated. Like, please. It is no wall or anything.
No.
Well, sometimes they put like a separation.
At night there is.
Yeah, the wall that comes up with close the expo. But sometimes they don't do it anymore. They used to put up partial walls, but it was just, I think, to control traffic, which they realized really didn't. Every time they try to do something to control traffic, it never works. And it makes it way fucking worse. So,
yeah.
But in general, they do pretty good. They don't like people sitting down on stools because now we got the stools. They don't like people sitting down. They eventually stopped trying to stop people from sitting down because they're just like, who the fuck are you to tell me that I'm going to stand in line the entire fucking time? I am sitting my ass down. I am here all weekend. There's no way I'm standing in line and waiting an hour for anything. So, but I find that hilarious that everything you said is pretty much exactly. I was just like, these are the things I hear all the time from everybody. Do you still feel overwhelmed? Like when you first walk in, do you still have that sense of, yeah, wear comfy shoes, like Matt says, wear comfy shoes. That's important.
Definitely the comfy shoes and the stools. The collapsible stools are clutch.
Yeah.
So you can literally sit anywhere.
Yep.
I don't think I feel overwhelmed anymore, kind of because I know what I'm walking into. And I think I more ease myself in on the tabletop side and then make my way over to the video game side.
The tabletop side has become one of my favorite spots to really go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's calm, relaxing, but there's a lot of stuff going on, and especially the D&D one shots, fucking fantastic. We'll get into that in a little bit, but just the stuff you can do. It's nice to break away without breaking away, without leaving, without have to, like, everything you need is in the convention. Like the food trucks is the same price you're gonna spend anywhere else, but their food trucks are like mwah. Like their food trucks are so good. That's probably like one of my favorite parts. I would say the top.
Yeah, I was gonna make sure we mentioned that because I was like, oh, I love the food truck options. They're fantastic. You can literally go get basically any kind of food you want.
Yeah, anything.
I think I've had empanadas there. I've had chicken and rice.
Yep.
I've had noodles and dumplings, like grilled cheese. Like literally, you name it, you can get whatever you want there. I travel and I experience life via food, and that's why I run.
Yes.
So,
yeah, man, food is a big part of everything that I do, and I love food so much. So, for me, having food at my favorite place is a very key thing and important to me. So, and having so many options is critical. Is like critical. So, but that's what's up. That's what's up, man. I'm glad to hear that. Now, on the board game side, like since you said you were more board game, like what are some key suggestions that, like, tips that you would give people that are going there specifically, like, hey, I'm not super into video games. I'm more about board games, tabletop games. How would you suggest that they handle their first time actually going?
use the library. So, one of the great things about PAX and having your badge is each person can go check out one board game at a time from this massive library of board games they have. They literally just link it to your badge, and it's fantastic. So you can go test out whatever board game you want. The one year I managed to get my wife to go to PAX, we checked out Sushi Go Party. We ended up playing it for I think like an hour, and then we ended up buying it from the booth that was selling Sushi Go Party. Like, it was awesome. I love that game. It's so much fun. Another game we had played was Forbidden Island, which we also now own. Like, there's just so many good options. So my first recommendation would be go walk around the library and see what games interest you there, because there's a good chance, whether it's from the publisher themselves or if you were to go to Battlegrounds, is a huge one. They sell brand new games, but they also have some like gently used games that they'll tell you whether it's missing pieces or complete or whatnot there. So you can probably find the game at some sort of booth inside of PAX if you enjoy it. There's a really good chance of that. The next thing I would say is, if you want to do the tabletop side, is definitely get into a session of D&D, because they have these DMs there to make sure you can experience it that are really good at it. They're about an hour, I think an hour and a half maybe. Just a quick game. I think there's about 7 or 8 people. They usually sit at a table, and I mentioned it quickly earlier. You don't need to have a group of people to go with. If for some reason you were to go with friends and they would be like, I don't want to play D&D, you can get in line by yourself. They'll find you a table to play with people. And again, having done that multiple times, I've never had a bad experience with people at that table. Even if you're new to it and you've never been able to play it, people there understand. The DM understands. And usually they'll provide you dice too. So if you show up and you get the urge to play, but you're like, I don't have dice, I don't have a character sheet, all of that stuff is provided, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
So like definitely check out that. But also a big thing is go around to these tables with the game developers who are making them and try them out, because like we had the chance to try out one of the D&D like board games they came out with that I'm blanking on right now, but it's basically a very simplified version of D&D that's combat only, where you're trying to achieve an objective fighting against two other people. Like it's basically an arena type game where you try to fight them out. And we played that directly at the Wizards booth that they had there to try it out, which was really fun. Um, Another really, really good one was Dice Thrones,
Mm-hmm.
which was super fun. The best way I can describe it for anybody who isn't familiar is Battle Yahtzee.
Mm-hmm.
And what's really cool is if you're a fan of Marvel, they've done main Marvel, 2 expansions to that, and they just recently did an X-Men collab for it, so you can play with them too. So that's something really fun. And like we played that at the developers booth.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really fun. Or getting to test out Star Wars Legion last year, the new TCG that came out with for Star Wars. That was really cool. Played that at the developers booth. So walk around the booths and see like what they're all offering, because even if you're not looking necessarily for a board game, you're looking for accessories. They'll show you, they'll demonstrate the accessories for the things. Like I've bought things from Wormwood. I think it's Hard Play is another one for like my Magic stuff. I bought a deck box from them, which was magnetic and stuff. It was really cool. Like you can get to go get a hands-on experience with a lot of the different things there without having to do much. Like one time I was just walking around looking at stuff and they were like, oh, how many are in your group? And I was like, oh, just me right now. And they're like, oh, do you want to play this game? And they pulled me into this table to play a game with random people I'd never met. And it was just this game called Buy the Vote.
Mm-hmm.
And you would win the presidential election by buying the most votes. And I won. Hilarious. 2, lots of fun to play with random people. Like, and I'd never met those people before. And the developer was just looking for somebody to fill a table and happened to pull me in. So, like, just go in and walk around. You will find something on the tabletop side. If you're looking for tabletop, you will find something that pulls you in. I promise.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you brought up, visiting the booths. I think visiting the booths is so important on this, and especially if you're by yourself. If you're with a group of people, it's a little bit different of an experience. But when you're by yourself, definitely take the time at the booths, because you're getting to meet the people that create this, and a lot of them want to share their story. Like, they want to tell you their story. They're dying for somebody to ask them, "Hey, tell me a little bit about this. Why did you do it?" Because you get to see it from what the purpose of why they created it. And people lose the track, especially within comic books and movies. People get stuck selfishly thinking about, this is what I want from an experience of watching this, instead of being like, what was the creator of this trying to tell me? Like, what were they trying to share that I might not have caught? And having that view and a lot of different things changes your perspective on how you look at stuff, and that's okay. I think everyone needs to accept that is okay. So, I've met some publishers for games that I absolutely love, that I didn't even know I was fucking talking to sometimes, until at the end of the conversation, they're like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm blah 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 blah," and I'm like, "Wait, I've definitely seen that name in some pretty big letters somewhere
Yeah.
before." So, and you never know what they're gonna give you. They're just giving them their time to be like, you know what? Here's a code for the game. You know what I mean? Like, I've gotten free stuff. I've gotten Need for Seat shares. You've seen them. These shares go for $400 a piece, and I got 5 of them for free, because all I did was sit down and talk to them, and it's amazing. And it wasn't for me, it was for the lounge, and that's what they wanted to do. They're like, "Oh, you run a video game place, and tell me about it." And I told them about it, and they're like, "You know what? Here's an email, come contact us and we'll get you for if I fucking $400 chairs for nothing. I didn't pay shipping, I didn't pay anything. And I put their names over everything. And they didn't even do it for that. They weren't like, "Hey, we're gonna give you," like, no. Like, it
Yeah.
it it helps them, you know what I mean, grow. And I think that's super important, especially in the board game realm. A lot of people think board games are like, "Oh, they're dying." They're not. They're not even close to even dying. It's, yes, you can play a lot of the board games digitally, and they don't even lose money switching to digitally. All it does is it makes it more convenient for people to play it even more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As much as I play Munchkin digitally, I rather play it in person with people on cards. Just it's a better
Way more fun in
experience.
person.
Absolutely. So, I think I'm so happy you said it because I think that is probably one of the most important parts of going to this convention is actually meeting people. Like that is it's so huge, and no one says you have to kiss their ass like they're royalty or anything like that, but just, meeting them in general is such a great thing, and it kind of changes your perspective of the game and hopefully for the good. Like I haven't had any bad personal experiences meeting anybody at PAX, publisher, developer, anything wise.
Mm.
And so like even regular people, like the regular, people that are there, I never I think maybe out of all the years I've gone, maybe once, and that's how small it probably was that I don't even remember because I just feel silly saying that it's never happened. You know what I mean? But I would say
No,
maybe,
definitely.
maybe once I've been inconvenienced by somebody, but definitely no one at a booth, like not even
Yeah.
close. And the D&D stuff, this is coming from somebody that never got to really play except for a group of friends, and it's easy to do anything with a group of friends. And you talked me into doing the one shot, and I didn't feel comfortable. It was out of my comfort zone, but I'm just like, you know what? I didn't even think about it. You had a group of people that came down from Vermont and New Hampshire and stuff and Maine, and we got together with them, and we had, I think, one or two randoms, I think, in there too.
Yeah, there's definitely
And
some randoms thrown
yep,
in.
and the experience was a blast. It was such a good time, and that's all I kept talking about. "Louie, you gonna come back tomorrow? Should we do this again tomorrow?" Like, and he's like, "No, I'm not coming back tomorrow." And then I was alright. But, and then the next year we did it, and then the year so we did it, I think 3 years, in a row, we did
Yeah,
that
I
together.
gotta find a game this year to do.
Yeah.
But I refuse to go on Saturdays for anybody wondering. I will
Yeah.
not do Saturday again. I did it my first year. Never again.
Yeah?
I like Thursday, Friday. Thursday, Friday is my speed. I'm good. I'm out. Saturday is too much. There's too many people.
Yeah,
It's just
it's a lot. I tell everyone all the time, Saturday's a lot. I was like, if you don't like being around a lot of people, definitely Thursday and Sunday are the 2 best. They're the 2 slowest.
mm.
Friday's relatively busy, but it's not a Saturday. It's not a Saturday.
But speaking of booths, and we were talking about this before we came on air.
Mhm.
Last year, I think we spent about 3 hours at one booth just playing this game called Beano, and it was basically just flick soccer. And if you want to see people get stupidly competitive over a game, it was all of us sitting there for 3 hours taking turns testing out this demo of a game where I think we ended up. I walked out with one. I know
Arsenio went
another one.
back and bought one.
They just sold so many of them to us, and it was great. But the downside for them is they only brought a certain number, and they were from Arizona, so they couldn't get more quickly.
Yeah.
But it's a fantastic game. But literally, like that's I wouldn't have found that game had I not walked around the floor, seen it at their booth, and gone in to try it out.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah, because you're the one that brought it to me. You were like, "Oh, look at this game I got." I was like, "Oh, I did see that out there." Right? And I was like, "We played a little bit." He was like, "Yeah." He's like, I loved it." So we sat down and we started playing 2-on-2s, and that was a good time. And we were like, "Oh," I was like, "You'll always find that hidden gem. Always, every
yeah,
year, you'll find a hidden gem, whether it's a video game, a board game, Rock Band, you know what I mean? Like, there's always something,
for sure.
and that last year, that game was definitely the hidden gem.
And I know I'm mostly here to talk board games, but like if board games aren't necessarily your speed or you don't want to play them all day, PAX offers panels. They offer like nighttime shows. So like there's usually some sort of D&D thing done by like the Jerry Holkins and like his Acquisitions Incorporated group. They usually do a live one, but last year there was another one on like Friday night that I went to.
Mhm.
So like there's always entertainment of some kind, or there was like a cosplay panel I went to go check out one time, just to see like what it was and what they would suggest making and stuff. So there's all kinds of different things to do at PAX that are awesome.
And you never know. Going to a panel, they announced Borderlands 3. Oh my gosh. They announced Borderlands 3 at PAX East. Like,
Mm,
if you went to the panel, like, first of all, they gave Borderlands 2, I think, away for free to everyone that was there, like gave everyone codes. And then they announced and dropped the trailer for Borderlands 3 and like how it was there. And it was funny because I was about to go to the line, but I ended up showing up late, and we were walking and walking and walking. I was like, I'm not waiting in this line. And then Kyle ended up messaging us after and was just like, "Oh, you won't believe this just happened." I was like, "Fuck."
Yeah, no, like definitely check the panel schedule because they're really really entertaining. They're a great way to spend some time there and learn some things. Like I said, I went to my first live like tabletop RPG show last year,
Mhm.
which was like Cast Party. And it
Mm.
was really good. It was really entertaining. Like
Yeah,
I had a blast at it. So
yeah,
there's
they have a
always
lot of
something.
D&D ones. The D&D ones are awesome. The D&D ones are really awesome. I want a
Yeah,
fucking PC.
the,
Not a cheap PC, like easily
yeah.
a $3,500 PC at PAX. Like, never thought I would, and I'm just like, Van doesn't win anything, and I
You had mini
won.
celebrity status after that though.
Oh no, dude! Like, I went to GamerCon, and somebody came up to me in GamerCon and was like, "Hey, aren't you the guy that won the PAX PC?" I was like, "Get the fuck out of here!" I was like, "You kidding me?" He was like, "Yeah." She's like, "I thought you looked familiar." I was like, "Oh my
That's
god."
fantastic.
I was like, "That's
That's so good.
nuts."
That's so good. I remember you coming up and being like, I want a PC, and I was like, what? What do you mean you won a PC? How do you just win a PC? I'd
Yeah.
like to join. How do I?
I
You're like,
existed and I won a
you're,
PC because I
you're
existed.
like, you're like, I'm just old. It happens, you know.
Yeah, sometimes things just happen randomly. So,
I
like,
put in my time
yeah, no,
for real.
for reals, for reals. It was definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. So, but yeah, no, I mean, the experience at all, like in all, is amazing. And doing PAX by yourself, like no friends going, not meeting up with
Mhm.
anyone, is definitely lame, but doesn't have to be. You have to be willing and open to be something outside of yourself. And if you're willing to do that, you'll meet so many people, like so many
Yeah,
people. And a lot of people say, "Well, it's easy for you, Van, because like you always got somebody or you got a lot of personality." Like, no, like, you don't think it comes in my head like this person's probably gonna think I'm crazy? Like, of course, like, but I don't listen to those type of things. I'm always trying to because I'm being selfish. Like, I'm like, hey, I don't want to sit here and not say anything. Sometimes I do. There are often times where I'm just like, I want everyone just to leave me the fuck alone. I just want to
Mhm.
do what I got to do. But when you're in the place like this, it's so hard to, especially when you see someone that's doing something you really, really like. You're like, you know what? I got to acknowledge that person. Just let them know, like, hey, you're doing okay, my friend. You're doing
Yeah.
okay. Um,
No, and as someone who has spent some time walking around PAX by himself, like just because you meet up with people, or like for me, I always travel in solo and then meet up with everybody. But
hmm
I always happen to be like the first one there,
hmm
like which is fine. It doesn't bother me because, like you said, I'm just walking around having a good time.
hmm
Like compliment people for their cosplay, like
Yep.
or check out games. Like I said, I've been pulled into random games because of it. So I get that feeling because like at some points, like you do get self conscious. You're like, oh, I'm that weird person who's walking around a convention all by themselves. But you're not that weird person. You're there to have a good time. Everybody's there to have a good time, and everybody's potentially a new friend of yours, depending on their interest in yours. Like
Yep.
you never know who you'll cross paths with that you end up like staying connected to. So there's nothing wrong with if you go to PAX by yourself, find people, say hi. Like if you're at PAX by yourself and you see myself, and I'm gonna throw Van under there. If you
Yeah.
see Van there, say
Absolutely.
hi. Like
I've said it a few times on this stream, just letting people know, like, hey, if you're there by yourself and you're looking to hang out and you're just like, I just need someone to hang out with, like, I'd be more than happy
yeah,
to. More than you come up to me and I love being able to have a good time and meeting new people. I never get bothered, you know? I feel
yeah,
bad usually if I have to take off because I know it's such a big crowd, but this year, every year has been getting better and better and different for me. So that's pretty much how I'm gonna do is like my plan is like PAX is my focus. If I'm not enjoying PAX or having fun and doing something at PAX, then I don't want to do it. Like if it's not PAX
yeah,
really, I just don't want to do it. So um and that's kind of where I've gotten to. But yeah, and of course, like we said, it's good with, other people. Obviously, everything is fun with other people, but make a new friend. Like catch up with somebody that you don't know, and that's always a pretty good time. Like Yeah. Like I said, I met friends from, like, Ireland, like, I never thought I would ever meet, like, Ireland, just
Yeah.
random island, kinda fun.
I was gonna say jump into we said it
Yeah.
before, jump into a D&D game.
Yep.
Like you'll be guaranteed to talk to some people, maybe see what they're doing after,
Mhm.
like maybe their interests coincide with yours, like if they're going to a panel or they're going to check out something else and just be like, "Hey, can I tag along with you guys?" Like
I've met people waiting in
and
line for panels,
yeah.
like, just waiting in line and, you're sitting there waiting for probably an hour anyway, so usually the person next to me, especially if they're by themselves, every time. Every time.
Yeah.
I've never not talked to someone if they were by themselves, every single time. Even if it's for a second, just to get 'em comfortable, just be like, "Hey, you can talk to me if you want." You know what I mean? Like, even if you say that, like, if you don't know what to say and you just say, "Hey, you can talk to me if you want." Like, that's good enough, like, and that will make people laugh at least, it's
No,
personality.
definitely.
Personality.
Definitely. I having gone to all the cons I've gone to, like New York Comic Con, we managed to meet a family out there that we still talk to this day. Like we met up with them last year at Boston, Fan
Mhm.
Expo Boston. Like
That's awesome.
you make these connections with people just because you're obviously already have a shared interest if you're at this show. Like
Yep.
so there's already some sort of a connection there.
The talking is the easy part.
Exactly. Like that's already built in because why else would you be at PAX unless you shared some like that interest? So
Yep.
don't ever feel awkward trying to strike up a conversation. Obviously, if somebody's like, "Don't talk to me," don't
Yeah.
talk to them. Clearly, there's something else going on there. But
Right, right.
like, it doesn't hurt to try, and don't take it as a personal slight if they don't want to talk to you. Maybe they're just busy with something else, or distracted, or focused on something. Like, but that doesn't mean like somebody won't talk to you.
Yeah. And th
So
and that's another thing too. Just remember the crowd you're dealing with. A majority of the people that are here are very antisocial. And it's not because that they want to be, it's how they are. It's how their um conflict with socializing is. It's just they have that struggle. And there are some that just have that disability that they just don't know how to. So for those that just are not, don't assume that they're just an asshole. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh,
yeah,
you're just a piece of shit. Don't want to talk. Like, there's just some people that just don't want to talk, or some people that literally can't because their anxiety is so much, and you can usually tell, you know what I mean? But, um,
yeah,
we're all weird. We're all geeks. We all got our quirks. So, you're no different than Billy that you're sitting next to, or Susie, or Billy Sue, that you're sitting next to in line. So just, take it for what it is. So, but I'm going to use that and segue into the schedule. So originally, I already went through Thursday, but I stopped because I was like, I'm going to save this conversation when I join Louie, because a lot of Thursday is, first of all, you like being there on a Thursday, but more
mhm,
importantly, Thursday has a lot of board games there and a lot of tabletop games that are going on. So I figured this would be a good time to go through it. A lot of it
yeah,
is duplicated, so we'll go quickly through them, and unless for one, you see something that you're interested in, be like, "Oh, let's talk a little bit about that." We can talk about it. Or if I find something interesting, or if it's something we're like, "Okay, we just need to know more info. What is this?" But there will be some that are just quick because they already been said in past the stream, so we already kind of get the idea. So again, this is Thursday, May 8th. This is the day one of PAX. The floor opens up at 10. Things start usually going on. So Altered TCG is a trading card game. Altered, we've already talked about it, but it's just
mm,
a different brand of Altered. Paint and Take is they do little figurines. So like
nice.
Warhammer, D&D, stuff like that. Classic modern and indie RPGs. It's the Alexandra library that we go to get the games. You can just pick out the games. That's
Okay.
instead of them saying all day, they're just like 10 to 12, 12 to 5. It's weird. I don't you're gonna see it pop up a couple times in here. I'm so glad you're here because I'm so bad with English words that I can't say fucking shit. And I butcher everything. What does that say?
Gehenna?
Gehenna RPGs. All right, so Gehenna is a type of role playing game, so it's almost like a D&D, but it's
Hmm.
just their own thing. So this one's like art. So we'll click into it a little bit. Actually, I think we're gonna have to. Do a little search.
Yeah, because I'm not familiar with it, but it says horror Dungeons and Dragons, so I don't know. It's a boutique immersive events company.
Yeah, immersive horror and publishing. So yeah. Yep.
Hmm.
Oh wow, so they're interacted with Roll20.
Renegade Games is another big one. Norse
Yep.
Foundry. Yeah, so they're pretty.
Yeah, so they're pretty solid. So it seems like they deal with really, really dark shit.
Yeah, so my guess is that they probably use the D&D system,
Hmm.
and then they publish their books around using the D&D system
Yep.
from just quickly what we looked at,
And
which
they
is
got
pretty
different
cool.
types too, like Vasgrim, horror, Dungeons and Dragons, and then I know they have a few more later on in the day that they change out as well. So, so they got those going on at 10. Star
Hmm.
Wars Unlimited trading card game pods. So they're doing Premiere, Starter, Sealed, and Drafts.
Hmm.
And you win money and prizes and stuff
Pa-
like that.
Yeah, usually it's PAX. Last year they actually had the demos out because it was around the time the game officially dropped, so they had an entire demo section for that game, which
Nice.
was really cool.
Cooperative, a puzzle room experience. Co co cooperatives. Play on words there. So it's pretty much a book experience, and it's like almost like an escape room kind of like
Yeah.
scenario. You guys talk and try to get each other out and stuff like that. So it's just you know.
I had the chance to do that last year.
Oh, did you? So you
Yeah.
actually got to play it?
Yeah, so it's an escape room, but it's weird because they're setting it up inside the convention. So last year they had basically like curtains between like the different rooms they had going on, and then there was this one like cabinet which acted as like the wall with all the clues in it. So half of your group gets put on one side, half of your group gets put on the other, and you have to pretend like you can't cross over between the two sides to solve the puzzle.
Hmm.
It was cool. It was a lot of fun. It's a nice little like offering. I think it was like 15 or 20 a person to do it, but it
Oh,
was a
so you do
cool
have
thing
that's why
to
there's a
try.
dollar sign. You do have to pay to get in.
Yeah.
Yep. So check it out. Check it out if you're interested in that type of thing. All right, so this is Magic Gathering free mini masters. So obviously it's a tournament. I think that you don't have to pay. This event starts off our mornings and is limited. First come, first serve. Play a quick 2-round single elimination match and win more boosters the longer you last. Oh, so you keep winning boosters. Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh
But
man.
it's weird because I think when you look at the thing, it says one booster pack guaranteed in basic land. So I have no idea how many it really is
Hmm.
because a booster pack comes with like 14 or 15 cards. I might actually try it out just so I can
Win
talk
more
about it
booster
more.
pack.
I mean, Tarkir Dragonstorm is a great dragon based set if anyone's interested, hence the Dragonstorm in it. But it's a really cool designed in universe set as opposed to universes beyond. But
Right. Right. Okay, moved on to 10:30. Flesh and Blood trading card game. Learn to play. Guess it's paid. Pokemon, obviously, trading card game. Build and battle Ditto draft. Let's just kind of poke into that real quick and see. 'Cause I'm not too sure if I understand what the Ditto. This draft has a twist. Once per game, you can choose one of your Pokemon to be a Ditto that can evolve into any stage 1 evolution. Players will play 3 rounds with their decks, win or lose. That's a different twist, huh? That's
that's kind of cool.
I've never heard of it played like that, so that's kind of interesting. Blood on Clock Tower, Trouble Brewing.
That's supposed to Blood on the Clock Tower is supposed to be something really good. One of the channels I follow on YouTube called the Good Time Society.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing like they want to do a whole thing around that. It seems interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, similar to games like Ultimate Werewolf, Secret Hitler. Oh, okay. All right. So, I don't know if you ever played Werewolf, but we've talked about it a few times where someone's the wolf, no one knows who's the wolf, and the wolf's job is to kill everyone, and everyone's job is to find the wolf.
Hmm.
It's it's crazy. It gets nuts. So that's going on. D&D Learn to Play. Again, if you have any interest at all in D&D, even the slightest, these type of things are the time to fucking do this. Y- You're meeting with people that you may never see again, so who fucking cares?
Truth.
And or you just met someone that became a new best friend, you're gonna join them in Discord, and now every Thursday you're playing D&D. Like, it, please, especially if you're one that has trouble making friends and you really want friends, you really don't want to be biased, that this is the type of shit to do. Like, especially if this is a passion of yours. I can't beat that nail anymore. So, um, D&D previews, a village called Hamlet in Darkness in the Nobe.
No. I wonder if that's a new
I
setting.
was just gonna say, I think because it's saying preview, so it sounds like this is gonna be a new one coming out. Yeah, yep. So it looks like it is new.
Free
So that
tables of each game will be available with 6 players per table.
so that's gonna
Hmm.
be interesting, huh?
So there's 2.
Yeah. Yep.
That's kind of cool. That might
Yeah.
be something to try to check out for a new game.
Absolutely. Nice. Board game play testing with Unpub, which Unpub is a company. I don't know if you've heard of them. They go around doing a bunch of different things. I get. Hold on, let me get the story right. Let me just make sure. 'Cause they have right here. Yeah, so yep, they're a network. So they're a network of people that help keep board games alive. So that's their whole thing. So like they bring board games to like these conventions and set this stuff up, but also like help promote certain companies specifically for it. So um I was talking highly about that. I'm like stuff like this is what the world needs to keep
Yeah.
happening. You know what I mean? Like it's what's gonna keep the things you love going, and relevant. So, this is, big ups to them for doing something like that, definitely. Pathfinder Society Quest. Have you ever played any Pathfinders?
I haven't because it's more closer to like D&D 3.5, where it's a
Mm,
lot more complicated with like the D20 system we have now, which is way simpler.
mhm.
But it's basically very similar to an early version of D&D or an
Uh,
earlier version of D&D. But
I've heard a lot of people, say a lot of good things about it, so I've always
yeah,
wanted to.
I don't know if I'm sure my brain could comprehend it, but I'm so used to D&D at this point. I
Mhm.
don't know. I don't want to switch over. I'm too lazy.
Yeah, no,
Um,
but I mean, it can be a bit much too, like, it's not another hobby.
Truth. My wife would agree.
And then after that, you got Starfinder Society 2E scenarios. I've heard some things about Starfinder, actually.
It's basically space D&D,
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah,
Like,
which is
which it
pretty,
seems fun.
pretty cool. Totally not Omegathon 2. They let us back in the building? Question mark. I don't know what that is because I know what
I,
Omegathon against all odd past allows our deeply. Uh, Silly tournament to return. Do you want to show that you're very best, but don't want to commit a lot of time to it? Are you willing to embrace yourself in front of an audience? Oh, so it sounds like it's Omegathon. Um,
mm, but
Omega winner.
but totally not.
Yeah, and then they have the PAX winners of the past Omegathon. And that's so funny. That's so funny. Can't know this. Yeah, so cool. So it's like a mini Omegathon. God damn it. Okay, 11 o'clock. Alta TCG again. Story time with my boy Greg Miller. Like I told you guys, please. He has so much years of experience. He's been through IGN. Eh, he, I know he hates IGN just as much as I do, but he still has a respect for it. But like that dude has so many connections, and his stories are amazing. So, um, Pikmin 4 tournament, which I don't know how they're doing that. I don't know how Pikmin can be a tournament, but games on demand, which is just games that you rent out. Bomberman Live, which is a video game tournament. Welcome to Magic the Gathering, Magic Academy Steps 1 and 2. So this is I remember reading this is just a training to go through with Magic the Gathering. Um they give you short with a short video about the game. All right, so they and show you videos and give you tips and teach you how to play Magic.
And they give you a beginner box, which I'm not sure. It said it on the bottom of that. They give you a beginner box, and this year's beginner box is supposed to be Spider-Man and Venom, but I don't know if that's going to be a thing until they come out with the Spider-Man set in September. So it might still be last year's beginner boxes,
Don't be
but it might
dropping.
also not be.
Don't be
Because
dropping rumors.
I'm going to assume it's last year's because, like I said, they're probably not going to drop those other ones until the Spider-Man set comes out.
Mhm.
But something to consider because I know Magic can seem very daunting for a lot of people.
Mhm.
this might be really good to check out because as someone who used to think Magic was extremely daunting, but has started playing it, it's a really fun game
Mhm.
that takes a lot of strategy. So if something like this might help you get into it, and again, another game to sink money into another hobby that's going to cost money, but it is a lot of fun, especially when you get a group of people to play with, or you go to your local card store and kind of just pick up the game with people
There's
there.
Magic everywhere. Magic is played everywhere. I guarantee you there's somewhere local you can play. Guaranteed.
Yeah. And if Commander is something that interests you, do that. It's 100 cards, all different, essentially, unless there's an exception for certain cards. But it's super fun.
Mm.
I can't recommend it enough.
Especially good for beginners. Definitely good.
Yeah.
All right, we got more Magic. Two-headed giant sealed mystery booster 2. So pretty much it's a booster tournament. Going on, Mr. Dr. Eggplant. Kyle.
Uh,
We are doing
that
excellent, my friend. Thank you for asking.
that is a very expensive entrance fee of 150 for
12
the
mystery
two-head.
boosters.
So for anyone who isn't familiar, mystery boosters are con exclusive boxes essentially, unless they do a secret layer drop, which is something else. But mystery booster combines a bunch of cards from a bunch of different areas, bunch of the different sets in Magic, and they also include a fun test card in them too, which I don't have one on me, but it's essentially a Magic card that has what looks like a piece of paper taped over it, and it's a concept card they might have tried at a different time. And in this one, you have a good chance of pulling some really good cards from it in like retro frame or white border. So that's why it's as expensive as it is, because each of those packs can go for like $15 to $20 each anyway on their own. So you getting 12 of them right off the rip, not a bad deal. Not great because again it's an expensive hobby, but based on what the packs go for, it's not the worst. But it's cool because two-headed dragon means you and a friend build 2 decks to work as a team to play against 2 other people who have built 2 decks that are supposed to be cohesive and work as a team to try to beat you.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's a really cool concept. It's just a very expensive entrance fee.
Yeah, no, 150, no joke. No joke. So you better know what you're doing. So Terraforming Mars is the next tournament coming up there. Never heard of that one.
I thought that was just a straight up board game.
Yeah, it's a board game. Yeah. Oh no, you know what? I did look this one up. I did already look this one up before. Yeah,
Yeah, it seems like a weird tournament to have, but
this is a wicked expensive. It's like over $500.
oof.
Yeah. The images were kind of like this. That's the video game version of it, but like this is the board game version. So it's almost like
It looks like a ton.
that's what I was gonna. I was for some reason kept thinking Ticket to Ride, but I was trying to say Catan. Catan,
Yeah,
right? The Catan.
Catan. I don't. It's one of those.
Yeah,
It's the Catan game. However you pronounce it is how you pronounce it.
All right, moving on. 11:30 Final Fantasy trading card game, which I've always heard really good things about the Final Fantasy trading card game. I've never got to play, but I've heard a lot of good things about it.
But you know what's strange about that?
What?
Is in literally just over 2 months, there's going to be a Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering set.
Oh yeah, that's no doubt.
So
now that they spread so much, like with the Marvel, they're doing so much. I'm like, yeah, no, they'll do that.
Oh, I've already put in a request to the Cloud deck for my local shop. I'm going to buy a Cloud deck. We are 100% getting them, and the cards are going to be bonkers, and I can't wait.
I'll order those. If they do God of War 2, I'll order those. I'll order those before I order Marvel stuff.
They're doing Avatar: The Last Airbender if you're interested in that.
I would do Marvel before Last Airbender, but I do like The Last Airbender. So that's still a good one. All right, moving forward. Cheese Thief, which I want to say is a tabletop game. Didn't mean to click on that one. Cheese Thief. Let's see. Fast-paced social deduction game for 4 to 8 players in a fancy theme world. Play as soon as one of the normal sleepy heads dreaming about the taste of delicious cheese in tomorrow's meal, or as the thief trying to steal. So it sounds like just a small, quick game. Did you guys talk about the Magic the Gathering Cross Final Fantasy main stage presentation on stage? on Saturday? No, we have not. I did not
It's on
know.
Saturday.
So let's. Yeah, we're gonna.
I'm not going to be there, but Van, I need you to go to that because they might give away free cards. So I need you to do me a solid and go
Let me
see what they give away.
Well, I mean,
I
Final Fantasy. Yeah.
I only say that because at New York Comic Con last year they did a Magic panel for the Marvel stuff and gave away a Marvel card and some covers, exclusive comic books with them. So just
Fucking
throwing it out there.
Kyle always fucking throwing a wrench in the goddamn plans. When on Saturday? Can you give me a table, please? Thank you. I'm trying to find it. Thank you, Leo.
Oh, there it is.
Where?
12.
At
12
12?
p.m. Second row.
Right here?
Yep. In celebration of the game, join us
Let's
for
go,
the
Ben
Twitter Marco
Star!
collaboration between Final Fantasy and Magic the Gathering preview cards drawn from the mainline game. The Magic design team shares the story of how the set. Yeah, I would definitely, if you're going, try to go to that because they might be giving stuff away.
Yeah, I'll go. I'll go.
There's a good chance they're gonna give stuff
Maybe
away.
Kyle will give you his.
I'm just not going Saturday. It'd be cool to go, but I'm not going Saturday. But like I said, like at New York, they gave away a Doctor Strange art counter spell that's now going for about a good chunk of money, about $80, I think. And they gave away exclusive comic books that had Storm and the Wolverine card covers on them for the individual comic books, which you could only get from there or MagicCon when they had the panel. So check it out. You never know. Like Van said, you never know what they're going to give away.
Yeah. Yeah, Saturday, Kyle, we're already seeing what we need to see. And we're not trying to see anything on the floor. So that's, I'm game. We'll do that. All right. Keeping it moving. Star Wars again. And then Lost Ruins of Arnak.
Oh, what that one is.
It's just a tabletop game.
But on the Star Wars game, if you enjoy Star Wars and you want to play a TCG, I can't recommend it enough. It's a lot of fun. It's if you're familiar with the way like Magic works or Lorcana or any of those games, it's very similar in the play strategy as that. So check it out. It's cool.
I knew you were gonna pump that one up a little bit.
I had a blast playing it last year.
Just Star Wars in general for you.
I love Star Wars. I don't. Yeah, if you can't tell by the wall behind me.
Big Star Wars fan.
Nah, I don't like it at all. Never heard of it.
What's that Star Wars? What's that Star Trek?
Yeah.
All right, moving on. 12 o'clock. Blood on Clock Tower again. Blood Wake. Did we see that earlier?
No.
No, it's a console game. Yeah, I don't even know. They have no detail.
You're going back to the Xbox?
Are you for real?
Wow.
Like, is this a thing? Like, is this a big game or something?
I mean, that's kind of cool though. If they're gonna go all the way back to that, that's a pretty sweet. Like,
well, they do Mario Kart 64 and shit like that, but Blood Wake.
But I was gonna say, the Mario Kart 64 at least feels iconic. I've never even heard of Blood Wake before this.
Yeah. Kyle, did you say that people go crazy for Blood Wake? Is that right? I don't know if
I've
you were
never
saying
heard of it, but
yeah.
I believe you, Kyle. I've never heard of it.
I don't know if he's saying for that or if it was something else we'll say. So we'll wait. He gets a little bit of a delay. All right. If you'll excuse me, I have a world to save. Again, a Dragon Age series retrospective. So more than likely this is a panel that they're gonna talk about. Yep. We'll be conducting a deep dive scholarly analyst of this iconic BioWare series, exploring its ludo-narrative design elements in an attempt to determine what contributed to the series' lasting appeal as a fan favorite. That was the world's longest fucking sentence I've ever had to read, but I killed it. Thank you. Among the elements this panel will analyze will be visual and artistic design, fashion design, music, and scoring, writing, both character and story, in user interface and backend. That's a lot. All right, so Kyle's saying, no, I was talking about the Final Fantasy. Okay, yeah. No, a lot of people would be there. I agree. So we got to get there early. Yeah, so that's just the Dragon Age series retrospective. So they're just going to chit-chat and talk about Dragon Age. You're into Dragon Age. That's out. More Magic the Gathering, and then Race for the Galaxy, which I imagine tabletop. Yep. 16 players. Have you ever heard that?
No. I have no idea what that was, but I was gonna while you're looking it up, I was gonna say for the learn to play D&D stuff, if you're someone who has ever had a passing interest in D&D, go check out those events. Like they're designed to show you how to play it in a very low stakes. Everyone's learning to play, so no one's expecting you to go in and be an expert on it. So try out those and take advantage of those chances.
Actually, quite the opposite.
Van's gonna sit down at the table and be like, "You better know how to roll that dice."
Yeah, so yeah, definitely check that out. Race of the Galaxy seems to be something of a like a Dice Masters minus the dice. It's just all cards. So interesting.
Very
Interesting.
interesting.
Never
I
heard
miss
of it.
Dice Masters. It was a fun time.
I just found my tote of Dice Masters.
I have my whole bag, but I have nothing to do with like no use for them right now.
Yeah.
But that was a great game until they stopped supporting it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Boo.
Boo. It went to fucking HeroClix, which we knew was gonna happen. We have more learning D&D, strong female character, candid discussion with feminine creators in the TT RPG industry, TT tabletop
That's
RPG.
definitely a panel.
Yeah. So we have some people here that will be taking part in that panel. This up so you guys can see the list. So Natalia. Oh yeah, I'm not even gonna try this. Nope, not doing it.
Lena?
So yeah, panel about female characters. So pretty cool. I think it's definitely worth it to check out if you are interested. Ticket to Ride.
Love Ticket to Ride.
Great
Such
game.
a great game.
Such a great game. So many people mad at me for that game.
I was gonna say at 1:00, the only thing I wanted to highlight was that they were doing the Flourishing Spring draft for Magic the Gathering, which is Bloomborough. And Bloomborough to me is one of the funnest sets they've released since I started playing because it's based on a world where everybody's just little animals. So squirrels, rabbits, raccoons, otters, trying to think bats is like another one. Like it's such a fun and I'm gonna say whimsical set that like if you have any interest in trying to try out Magic and you want to see a really fun set that does a lot of really fun things, I can't recommend Bloomborough enough. I have a Bloomborough deck that's all squirrels, so I murder you with squirrels. It's so much fun.
That sounds right down Louie's alley. He loves blowing people up with innocent little things.
My sidekick deck was amazing in Dice Masters. Thank you.
Fucking hated that deck so much. Such a waste of deck.
That's so good.
So they're doing a Savera exclusive showcase, roguelike action unleashed at PAX 2025. So this is run streaming. Oh, so this panel is actually gonna be streaming. So it's a showcase. I don't think I've ever.
I never heard of Savara. Kind of weird that there's a medicinal company that's the same, but
right. Oh, okay. This is
Rogue Light. Okay.
Yeah, so roguelite means like when you die, nothing saves. You have to do everything all over again. So it will be new levels, new enemies. Like you don't have anything saved from the last. You can't save the game. Like it's a continuous play. So so with this game, what it would be like is as far as you go while you're playing. Yeah, death is permanent. Like I said, death is permanent. But while you're playing, you just try to go as far as you possibly can.
Okay.
Yeah.
It looks pretty cool.
What was the big one for PlayStation? I think roguelite, but Returnal. Returnal was the one for PlayStation. That was really big. That blew up, and they ended up coming up with Returnal. I don't think it's Returnal 2. Is it Returnal 2? That's 2 plays. It might have just been DLC. I can't remember, but yeah. So, but that's weird. I don't know why that's such a big deal. I've never even heard of the game. So,
Should
but
we talk about Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes?
so it's a video game, and
Okay.
it's I want to say It's a part of Lapbox, not
Uh,
Lapbox,
Jackbox.
Jackbox. Yeah, Jackbox. I think it's one of the
Gotcha.
Jackbox mini games. So, but it might just be just a virtual reality game too. I can't remember, but yeah. So it's just the whole thing is everyone just got to keep making noises or something like that. And I never got to play it, but it was huge on like TikTok or whatever. One of those
Okay.
little things for the youth. Um, Moving forward, mystery tournament, which is just a random tournament. You don't know what game you're gonna play each round, and they just pick random games. So, more Star Wars, Magic the Gathering, like you said, Wingspan, which is a board game. We got into that one on Saturday. It's a cute little board game with birds. Arc Nova, pretty sure it's a tabletop game.
At Tabletop HQ. Huh.
Mm-mm. Oh, so it's like a little board. It was like you got characters and features with certain parts of the land. So it looks like, oh, you're trying to build a boat, trying to get pieces. That's a pretty expensive fucking game.
Yeah, 75. That's an investment to start with.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll have it at the libraries though. So if it does interest you, check it out there.
Yeah. And there you go. There you go. I like it. Uh, more
That way
time.
you don't spend
Oh,
$75
Jesus.
and hate a game.
So I'll blow
Yeah,
through
we can. It's like
we'll
we can
kind of
kind of jump.
hand pick a little bit. Your right hands come off. Video games and camp. I think it's just I'm talking about camps and video games, what
Mhm.
that title is. Notes using definition to jump off point. We attempt to clarify. Oh, so all right. So they just talk about video games pretty much. Okay. All right. I don't know, Kyle. Yu-Gi-Oh needs to get some love. Where's all the Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments? The great RPG debate. Who will rule them all? So obviously, a panel will probably talk about RPGs, the impossible visual novel releases of the past 5 years. So this is where a lot of the panels start happening. This autograph section, Natural Six, idea. Gotta go. Gotta go to this panel. Gotta go to this panel.
Mafia, the old country.
They're gonna show actual game footage of Mafia. It's the new Mafia that's coming out, and Greg Miller is hosting it. So gotta go to that
Fun,
one. That's a big
fun
deal.
fact. Did you know Greg Miller did some work for WWE?
Yes, I did. That's all he talks about.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty cool. That's like your dream job as like a kid.
Yeah, it's a big thing to him. Him and Austin Creed are actually best friends. Like they're really, really close friends. And he has him on all the time because he has his own podcast, Up Down Down, that he does, and it's mainly video game heavy. I don't know if you know, Austin Creed is actually good friends with Jamie too from Game Underground.
You've mentioned that one.
Yeah,
Pretty sweet.
he's actually come down and hung out like specifically just to hang out with him. So
that's pretty cool.
Okay, moving on. By the way, I think Mafia is the game that will be the 2K booth ban. I hope so. I hope so. If I can put my hands on it, I'm going to. Outside the box, the Nintendo Labo Creators Contest, self-explanatory, fucking Nintendo Labo, Magic, Nokia game, classic, modern, and indie RPGs. You know they have Coop. They have Coop tournament on Friday.
Oh.
Yeah, remember that game? You're the one that showed me, I think, that game.
Oh.
The card game.
It's basically bullshit, but better.
Yes. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Might have to try that out. It's been a while.
Pathfinder, Star Wars.
The second lounge. We played that one.
Yes. Yep. Lords of the Waterdeep. Was it? You didn't bring it.
No, it was.
I had the dealer there, the actual developer of that game.
I know you did for Ninja Dice, and I missed that day.
Yeah.
For Coup, I think it was.
I think it was the people that made not Pathfinder. What the fuck was the name of the game? Gunslinger. Grimslinger.
Mm,
Grimslinger. I think they were the creators of Grimslinger.
possible. That's possible.
That was a good game though. D&D, D&D, Darwell, it's complicated how AI is being used in game development. Oh, okay. That's a if you're
Yeah,
really
it's gonna be a
anti
touchy one.
yeah, if you're really anti AI, especially in the gaming industry, that would probably be a really good one. Final Fantasy, did I throw enough grenades? Psychology of Destiny. I gotta see what that's about. What makes Destiny so compelling? This panel explores the designs. Oh yeah, no, me and the crew are gonna go
I was
definitely
gonna
to
say,
this.
but does your group say you throw enough grenades?
Oh man, my grenades are the most critical part of the game. If I don't throw them, there's gonna be a problem. Um, all right, so we got that. So I'm definitely gonna hit that up. The Furious 7. Um, what did that say? Furious 7 out of 10. The best games don't have to be AAA. A panel about games that are probably just not rated really high as good games, but how they could be.
Mm.
A quick 101 on speedrunning for beginners. I think that's self-explanatory. I'm gonna sneeze.
Sagrada, I don't know what that is, but I don't know. I I'm interested at 4 o'clock. There's a Wii Sports thing, so people are gonna get out there and play some Wii Sports. That should be entertaining.
Wii Sports for what? Jesus Christ, that's gonna get violent really quickly.
Yeah.
Star Wars, Magic, Castles of Burgundy, which it was a board game. I just can't remember. Real quick.
Is it from Ron Burgundy?
Ron Burgundy. If it was, I would definitely play it. Okay, so it's like again another game like Katana.
Oh,
Catan.
weird.
Yeah. Okay. Where are we? Where are class rarity? Now you're thinking like a game composer, scoring integrity. So it's just panel on making music for video games.
Hmm.
Are we crazy to make Game Boy Color games in 2025? There's another day they're doing it. So did you know they still make Game Boy Color games? There's a community out there that actually still develop games for Game Boy Color.
I did not know that.
Yep. Yep.
Hmm.
So that's what that's all about.
That's
Uh
kind of cool.
yeah, I think that's sweet that there's a community out there that's still doing that shit. Uh
Yeah.
Smash Up, I want to say is just a bunch of different games put together. Nope, it's a specific game. Okay, I lied. Hit and Krista, Podcast Live, Nintendo World Championships NES Edition, One Night Ultimate Werewolf. When you try that game, it's fun. Blood on Clock Tower, D&D, Towerfall Ascension's a video game, which is a super fun fucking video game. 100 cc's of game stat, what we know about games and health. Let's just, oh no, take a quick having this one. Your family members, significant others, and coworkers all have strong opinions on games. Video games cause violence, or many video games help people find lifelong friendships. For the past 3 decades, researchers have sketched out the evidence based of how, when, what games impact, from building communities to increasing visual problem solving. The psychologists and sociologists on this panel I have worked in creating and testing how games impact mental health and relationships. So it's actually a pretty good panel to be a part of, especially if you're open to that discussion of if video games are bad or not.
Does
Uh,
seem pretty cool.
so definitely worth it. Pokemon, Altered, Ganac, East East Coast Championships.
I
Yeah,
don't know what
it's a
Ganac
card
is.
game. Do you know?
Hmm.
Have you ever heard of Ganac?
No.
Well, it seems to be a pretty big deal. The website's kind of stupid.
Yeah, I was gonna say this feels like somebody just made it up. Which I mean, everything is just made up, but like,
Yeah. Or if I East Coast Championship, like that's just the title at that point. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
hey, if you're into checking out games and you like Ganock, check it out.
seriously.
Super Smash Brothers Tournament, the history of Mystery Hunt, MIT Mystery Hunt for puzzling pals. Something from MIT. Yeah. Yep. Yep. So deals with puzzles in MIT. Okay. More magic stuff. Power
Yeah, it looks
grid.
like Magic's going all day. That's
I think
a
it's all
lot.
day every day. It's all day every day. Uh, there's
Oh,
stuff
Mega
for,
64 is at 8.
oh yep, NBA Jam tournament too. DMing on the dark side. Thursday night concerts. Like I said before, the concert stuff's always really cool to do. Doing a tender, video game tender, where they rate video games. Gang Beasts is always a good way to end your fucking night. Horror game, let's play live with a horror game YouTuber.
NFL Blitz at 10 p.m.
Yes,
That's a way to end it.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. For that. So nothing really much on the schedule. But is there anything that you would like to wrap up and kind of say to end? Oop.
I would say just looking at that schedule, there's going to be something there for you if you're remotely interested in going to PAX already.
Mhm.
There's going to be something you'll find
Yep.
to do there that will absolutely make your time at PAX. So don't hesitate to go. And if you can't go this year, but you want to go in the future, again, don't hesitate. Go. You'll find something to enjoy there. It's a lot of fun. I can't wait to go back and just hang out with everybody and go have a good time. Check out some tabletop games. Check out some video games, and just see what they have this year. Like it's always something different. Um, like it's just there's a lot and there's some really cool vendors that are usually there. Like one of my favorite ones to check out is Nerds Clothing. If you haven't checked them out, I can't
Mm.
recommend them enough. Their
Mm.
stuff is fantastic. um I've bought a shirt 3 out of the last 4 years there. Last year I think I didn't buy one, but I usually stop there. That's tradition. Maybe I'll buy two this year, but
Mm.
like just go walk around. You'll find something that'll absolutely blow your mind for what they have. I just genuinely it's a great time.
Yeah, I agree. And especially if it's going to be your first time, it's about time. If it's your
Just do it.
first time, it's about time.
but
Absolutely.
but just ease into it because like I said, I let off with it's overwhelming because it can feel very much like a lot. But once you settle in and you take a second to like breathe, it'll all start to even out, and you'll be like, all right, I get it.
And I always
It's a good time.
suggest for the first time, don't stop at any booths. Walk the whole place. Just walk the whole place, and then start again and be like, all right, here I go, and then start see it. Because if not, while you're at a booth and you're doing whatever, you're gonna be like anxious to keep moving because you haven't seen everything yet. So just walk it
Yeah,
real quick, especially if you don't know why you're going there and you're not pre-planning. If you're not pre-planning, just walk it out. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Don't worry about pre-planning until you've done this a couple times because you're just going to become so anxiety ridden just looking at your clock like, oh, I got a presentation, I got a presentation I want to see, I have more presentation I got to see,
yeah,
and it just ruined your experience playing the game, and you don't want to do that at all. So,
yeah.
um,
Just enjoy it. Pro tip though: use the bathroom in the lobby before you go on the main floor.
yeah, yeah, because you'll be waiting a long time in the main floor. That lobby bathroom goes fast for some reason. It's so funny
Yeah.
you say that. Yeah,
That is my closing tip.
yeah,
Use the
there you
lobby
go.
bathroom.
But thank you, Louie, very much for joining on stream, man. Love to have you again. There's
Yeah,
plenty of
no, thanks
days
for having
left,
me.
so there's a lot more to talk about. But
We got a whole food truck episode we got to do.
absolutely, oh no, we will be breaking down everything about PAX, everything. Also, I'm working on getting people on PAX, like from some of the booths. Like I'm gonna start
Oh,
tagging people into the videos I'm doing, and then also reach out to them personally to see if they're willing to jump on to kind of promote themselves a little bit before PAX. So,
that's awesome.
so if I get some good board game ones, I'd love for you to join because I know you'll be bracket fire with some questions. So
Yeah, yeah. Let me know what you need. I'll be there.
appreciate it. So definitely make sure you follow Louie, Whoosh, the Comics and Running podcast. You can find it in all the social medias that are on the screen or in the description. And also, you can catch both of us on the Comic Council, which you can find us on Spotify. All our past channels are on there. We're also now officially on YouTube. Which it's funny, I have to figure out how to get rid of the other one somehow. So there's two out there, but you'll know because it will have actual content on it. So
Yes.
that's the new one. But that's it for me tonight, guys. This was just another day about PAX. We'll be back again tomorrow night to talk a little bit more, and we'll be excited for that. So